What's up, y'all? Talon here. Today I'm back with another series of ranked battles featuring top teams in the Regulation G format. Today we have a team that was able to make Day 2 of the Victory Road to Honolulu Challenge number 2, the second of the biggest grassroots tours before the World Championship, basically for people to, get some last minute practice with their teams, figure out what the metagame's going to look like. And this is one of the crazier teams to come out of that tournament, so if you guys appreciate the effort it took to recreate the team in-game as well as just create some EV spreads for the team, please subscribe to the channel and also leave a like on the video. And yeah, with all that being said, let's hop into a breakdown of this team. So the team was able to make Day 2. I don't think it was able to top cut the tournament overall, but was able to do well in the first day of competition. One player went 6-1 and then did not compete in the second day, and then one went 5-2. Didn't cut the next day, but overall has some merit. Obviously, two people cutting with this same team definitely has some eyes on it, and it is a very hyper offensive team. It has the Tornadus Kyogre Tsareena combination that I believe has been good since pretty much any format where Kyogre, well, really any of these Pokemon have been legal together. So the Tornadus is able to set up Tailwind for Kyogre to move first and hit its very powerful Water Spouts. Rain from the Kyogre allows the Bleakwind Storms to be 100% accurate, and then Tsareena is able to block any Fake Outs or Thunderclaps or any priority moves that would otherwise weaken the Kyogre before it hits the Water Spout. So really great combination. I think Triple Axle makes the Tsareena even better against Kyogre's counters. Power Whip hitting any water types that resist the Water Spout. Triple Axle hitting any grass or dragon types, especially with the Terra Ice on the Tsareena for huge damage, probably taking a knockout if they are not very specifically EV'd to take it. Beyond that, it is a standard Tornadus. Tailwind, Bleakwind, Rain Dance, Taunt. Rain Dance is an effective option to reset the rain if an opposing Pokemon like Groudon or Koraidon enters the field. Being able to use Rain Dance to one-hit KO the Groudon with a Water Spout is really nice, and then just being able to shut down the damage boost from Oracle Compulse from the Koraidon is also appreciated. Taunt's a good option against things like Amoonguss or other Tailwind setters just to be able to stop them from doing what they want to do in the battle, as well as being able to not have to burn a Grass Terrestrialization in front of Amoonguss with one of your 3 water type sweepers, all of which are Terra Grass, but you don't want to have to burn that early game. If you do not have to, that's what the Taunt is for. Kyogre is Assault Vest here. Usually you'll see a Choice Specs or a Choice Scarf, even Mystic Water on these sort of hyper offensive teams, but this one is kind of a slower Assault Vest set. Trying to tank hits really earlier game, go for Water Spouts, get consistent damage so that you can sweep late game with your Basculegion or your Urshifu. I do like this combination. I think it's a lot more consistent. You're taking less damage with the Assault Vest, so you can actually go for Water Spouts one or two times without, even if you've taken a hit and you're down to 60%, it's still hitting weaker than the Origin Pulse, but not by enough that you'd go for the Origin Pulse because of the 85% accuracy. So I do like that. It's something it has over the Choice Specs and the Mystic Water set. You can go for Water Spout a lot more consistently, which increases the consistency of your winning the games by not having to rely on Origin Pulse, basically. Ice Beam, a good option against the grass types that would otherwise take your water type moves pretty well. I'm thinking of Amoonguss and Rillaboom, namely, as well as the Raging Bolt. And then Thunder against other water type Pokemon, think Urshifu, that would otherwise be able to freely, not freely, it doesn't love taking Water Spout, but it can. So you can answer those with Thunder pretty easily and take a knockout with that. The Tsareena is carrying Taunt here for things like Ferrigraph that would otherwise be able to be immune to the Prankster Taunt on Tornadus. I think that's very smart. Urshifu is probably the most, second most interesting Pokemon in the team. I would say it is Choice Band. I'm running it Jolly just because I think it has enough power, and I'd rather be able to outspeed something like a Focus Sash Urshifu and tap that with a close combat, maybe even knock it out if they are not Choice Scarf or if they are not Focus Sash. Surging Strike Choice Band in the rain does crazy damage. If you're even able to get the Sword of Ruin Chien-Pao on the field, it's just crazy damage. And then, yeah, the Chien-Pao, mostly uninteresting except for the Icy Wind, so that pairs really well with Urshifu. Anything like for example, an Ogerpon that would otherwise be able to outspeed the Urshifu outside of Tailwind and hit it with a Grass-type move, knock it out. You can Icy Wind that and then clean it up with a close combat or a Surging Strike, depending on the form. So really interesting option on the Chien-Pao, hoping to get some usage out of it there. Then the last Pokemon on the team, which is probably the most interesting, that was what I was alluding to before, is the Basculegion. Basculegion is really not often seen in Regulation G. It did have some usage coming into the World Championship last year, but because of some issues getting it in-game legitimately, a lot of people did not bring it to the World Championships, and the few that did had some issues in competition with it. This one is a Life Orb, really maximizing its damage with the water boosted or the rain boosted wave crashes if you have Sword of Ruin on the field. Again, insane damage, but you're probably going to be getting pretty close to knocking yourself out after 1 or 2 because it is taking near 1-hit knockouts. Last respects, its most powerful move after a couple Pokemon have been knocked out, I believe after the leads have been knocked out, which is often going to be the case by the time the Basculegion comes on the field, you are a 150 base power move dealing just wild damage, frankly. And then if your last Pokemon gets knocked out, you're hitting with a 200 base power Life Orb boosted move, so definitely a very dangerous Pokemon to consider in the late game. Probably going to 1v1 any opposing Pokemon that is not significantly boosted or like a normal type, but then you can just wave crash it. So overall, a very cool team, excited to be taking on the ladder. It is very hyper offensive, and we do love those sort of teams. Definitely able to make some strong reads with them, but also very volatile. You can get out of position and get swept yourself pretty easily. So should be some exciting games. If you want to use the team for yourself, I have the rental code in the top right of the video, as well as in the description below. I have the EV spreads for the team, as well as the team creator. I'll have their Twitter link below if I'm able to find that. So with all that being said, if you guys enjoyed these videos, please subscribe, leave a like on the video, and yeah, with all that being said, let's hop on into the battles now. All right, my opponent here has another Kyogre team. Could be interesting. A lot of similar components, the Urshifu, Tsareena, Kyogre, Tornadus. Very scary. What can we do? I feel like our Basculegion is pretty strong against them, for sure. We just have to worry about the Archaladon, I believe, is like the main threat. What I want to lead here is actually Urshifu plus Tornadus. I think if I can set up Tailwind and knock out their Torn pretty easily. They'd have to be Choice Scarf, Kyogre with Thunder. I'm going to bring my own Kyogre. And then let's go Basculegion, I think. I don't think Chien-Pao is that good once I knock out their Torn. If they late game Torn, well done. And I should have the damage I need with Choice Band, Urshifu, and Last Respects to deal with their Tsareena. Yeah, let's see. They also have the very scary Zoroark Hisui form, the normal ghost type. So they will be immune. I guess they have to lead it, and I have Basculegion in the back. So it shouldn't be a big issue. But I think Basculegion is probably pretty strong in the Rain Mirror, outside of the Archaladon, which is I think, their main tool in this matchup. We might be fine. I'm going for Tailwind turn 1, no matter what. Even if they lead Torn, I can deny them. Arch Torn, sure, fair enough. I could close combat the Arch if I'm getting real zesty with it. But I think just going after the Torn is fine. Is it Fairy type usually on these teams? I don't know. So it depends on who's faster between us. If they are faster, then if I get this turn wrong, I'm in big trouble. But I think I should just go Tailwind, Surge, play it safe. We'll see who's faster. They're going for a Terastallization, looks like. So close combat into the Arch would have been bad, most likely. Yep. Cool, so we don't bite on that. If we survive the turn on the Urshifu, we're kind of cooking. Because we can knock it out next turn with the Surging Strikes, I think. Okay, we were faster, so we could have maybe gone a bit aggressive and taunted them, but I think going for the Tailwind is always safest from us. Rain Dance, that's totally fine, because we're going to deny them Tailwind here. So we'll have speed advantage for the rest of the battle, and we are not giving them a boost, notably. So Water Spout's going to just chunk the heck out of this Archaladon, so even if we get knocked out, which will happen, I think it's 100% accurate on Electro Shot. I'm not certain of that, but yeah, we're good with both of our Pokemon getting knocked out here. Could have gotten cute, tried to Terra the Urshifu, but I don't think that's correct by any means. Ooh, you thought we were Focus Ash. That is going to work out very poorly for them in a turn. Yeah, because they've already burned their defensive Terra, so our damage output is starting to look just monstrous. Okay. Basculegion, Last Respects isn't set up yet. Them setting up Rain earlier is actually probably a little worse for us, though, because we don't have Swift Swim for one turn longer after Tailwind ends. Tsareena, the Ranked Master. Fair enough. I think that's a Surge, though. Like Surge, Water Spout should be fine. I have to imagine Archaladon goes down to Rain Boosted Surging Strike, but Water Spout's going to do a big chunk as well. Who could they have in the back? Really nothing's tanking this combination very well, and it will prime everything to get knocked out from then on, so I don't think there's really a reason to go for a Terastallization yet. Yeah. I don't think I will Terra here, even though it's like fairly obvious that a Power Whip is going to come out and knock out one of my Pokemon. It doesn't because they protect. But yeah, we're going for the Choice Band Surgic Strike. We'll see if that was going to knock out the Archaludon anyway in rain. Maybe because I'm Jolly, it's a little short. Worth noting, Jolly does lose some substantial power. Yeah, we would have fallen a little bit short if we were adamant we would have gotten there, but yeah, I kind of prioritized the speed on a Pokemon like this just because a lot of the time we're going to have the speed advantage regardless. Well, maybe I should be adamant. My concern is just like making it a little stronger when Tailwind isn't up, but that's not very frequent, is it? And in late games we have Icy Wind, we can lock into Icy Wind and then we'll outspeed anything regardless. Maybe I should just be adamant on this team. Because the difference between the Water Spout single target and double target on the Tsareena might have made a difference, but not the case here. Urshifu, that's totally fine. Because Basculegion should clean that up late game. I wanna see the Basculegion so badly though. What a bummer. Okay. I think I'm just gonna go for the Water Spout again. Continue to clean things up. Yeah, I think a Water Spout's gonna KO them no matter what. But maybe they're able to knock us out and reveal the Basculegion. I feel like we were very favored in this mirror, especially after they Terra'd turn 1. Yeah, the Choice Band Urshifu guaranteeing a KO on Torn means we can at least trade Tailwinds no matter what. Yeah, that just does way too much damage to their Ursh. Yeah, very favored in the Tailwind Rain mirror at least. I don't know about the more balanced mirror, where they have things like Light Screen, Amoonguss, etc. Might be a little bit harder to navigate around that, but we have lots of Terra Grasses, so I don't know. I think the Basculegion is just like, definitely there's some holes in the metagame to ghost types. Ghost water types in particular. Basculegion's pretty bad, or Zamazenta's pretty bad into it, even though we just lost to one, but definitely a lot that the Basculegion can do in this metagame that people are not taking advantage of. And the Rain Mirror just happens to be one pretty significant aspect of it. Didn't even bring it out, but I think the pressure in the back made them have to play very differently in the early game. Interesting that they did not bring their Kyogre at all. I guess the Urshifu is always going to be able to close combat it. If they're not Thunder, they can't beat all my water types, so I guess it makes sense actually. But yeah, we're super. Honestly, yeah, that's just like a really easy matchup. Truthfully, I'm not sure there was a whole lot they could have done outside of Water Spout or Electroshot my Urshifu turn 1, but they couldn't really do that because then I would Bleakwind Water Spout through the rest of their team and they didn't have a switch in. So interesting battle there, but I think super favored for us. Very hard matchup, especially in close team sheet. Whoa, Mewtwo. Can't remember the last time I've seen this. Icy Wind Chien-Pao is actually an example of why Mewtwo is just not very good anymore. If they don't have Tailwind up, I can Icy Wind and outspeed it and knock it out with my Urshifu, which is kind of crazy. But, alright. I think Assault Vest Kyogre is insane here, straight up. So good against them. I don't even need it to survive the whole battle, I just need to get some initial Water Spouts. If they don't go into Trick Room, they're kind of toast. Can I stop them from going for Trick Room? Not really, if they lead in DD. So if they lead in DD, I want the Urshifu, truthfully. So I kind of want to go for that. Maybe Water Spout Bleakwind gets there regardless. We'll try that. I won't set up Tailwind if they lead the DD, I think. Well, Psy Strike is going to do a lot of damage. We'll see. We'll try our best. I think Basculegion, not bad here. Not bad at all. And then let's go... Chien-Pao could be cool. Is it necessary? I don't think so. I think Urshifu, Basculegion, just the 3 water type sweepers are so oppressive if your opponent doesn't have any like strong answers into them, so that's what we're going for here. We're just going to try and bully them. Alright, Reginald with your Gengar. Big love of Gen 1 Pokemon. Okay, Whimsicott, Mewtwo. They could Trick Room, I think it's unlikely. Psy Strike's actually pretty daunting of an option from them. So they can switch into their Indeedee, which would be an excellent play. I think I just want to go for... I could taunt them, right? Will I live a Psystrike? I have a little bit of bulk on the Torn, but if they're Life Orb, I can't imagine I live. Psystrike's very threatening. I think I'm just going to go for a... Bleakwind Water Spout is decent. I think I have to go for Tailwind just because of the option for Indeedee late game. If they didn't have that, then I could very easily go for some other stuff. But I'm going to go Origin Pulse here, even though it is way less accurate. Oh, okay. That makes sense. Sunny Day would have been cool. So that's threatening for sure. Yeah, good play. Origin Pulse going off first. Not a lot of damage. We can knock out the Whimsicott next turn with Ice Beam. Okay, Solar Beam. That's wild. That is wild. Not going to do a lot unless their choice specs are Life Orb. That's probably Life Orb. Yeah, fair enough. So what I can do is I can Taunt or Rain Dance. I think I'm going to Rain Dance Ice Beam. Try and knock out the Whimsicott. No spread move is a little dicey for sure. I guess I could Bleakwind. I could Taunt here too. I don't know. There's probably a better play I could have made here. I'm basically saying, okay, you can get... Well, no, this was wrong. Oh, they don't go for Tailwind. Yeah, I should have taunted there. But we should knock out Whimsicott regardless. And yeah, now we can get Rain Dance support later on in the battle, but we are losing our spread move. Yeah, okay, another Solar Beam. That's kind of a crazy option. But yeah, I guess they do have the tools to abuse Rain with Chi-Yu in the back, or with the tools to abuse Sun. I think Psystrike would have been doing more damage. But this is correct if they don't know I'm Assault Vest, which they don't. No Tailwind is a little odd. I like Urshifu just because regardless of what they switch in, I can go for a U-turn or something. Like the fear is Indeedee, I think. Indeedee would be kind of problematic. And that's like what I'm preparing for here, is the Indeedee in the back. Flutter Mane, okay. Whatever, I can Rain Dance, Surging Strike, anything in the back for a KO now. Yeah, this is fine. Speed is heightened, it doesn't matter, they never got Tailwind up. So we just Rain Dance and probably just KO their Backmon. Do I go for the Mewtwo? Maybe? I think Focus Sash on the Flutter Mane is like non-zero. They could also be something else. I think this just chips them into, yeah, Bleakwind range. If they take another Life Orb chip, they're starting to get really low. They're getting into Aqua Jet range, or Bleakwind range. But I guess Mewtwo wouldn't have been a bad hit here, because Expanding Force could be the way they win. Yeah, I should have gone after the Mewtwo this turn, because if they have Indeedee in the back and they Expanding Force, I can lose still. Yep. Could have also Terra'd that turn. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think Bleakwind's going to be enough. Bleakwind and 2 Life Orb ticks? Maybe. Yeah, that was a horrible misplay. Should have gone for... to cover for the Indeedee, I should have gone for the Surging Strike. Okay, it is Chi-Yu. Doesn't matter. Because... yeah, I can go for Terra and survive any move from them, and that should be fine. Could Bleakwind protect too. I think Bleakwind, Terra, Last Respects is right, because they have to Dark Pulse me. Bleakwind Protect would be decent too. Yeah, I just overcomplicated this game immensely. I think if I Terra my Urshifu, I'm totally fine. I survive a hit. From the Flutter Mane, I knock out the Mewtwo slot, and then I can't get Expanding Forced, even if they had the Indeedee in the back. And I'm also better off because I can just break through Protect and take a knockout this turn. Terra Electric is nuts. Okay. Are you Terra Blasting me? Oh, he's a Sparky Fish, and he protects. Okay, also resisting Bleakwind Storm, notably. This is wild. Okay. Getting nuts. Insane stuff. I might lose to the Mewtwo team. No disrespect to them. They played very well, but I absolutely did not. Terra Blast, sure. Into the Basculegion, I imagine. Nope, into the Tornadus. They're goated. Oh my goodness. Okay, I could actually lose this for sure. If they get a double protect, and if they are not choice specs, they can win this with a Dark Pulse. Maybe not even crit. Let's look at the turns. 2 more turns of rain. Last respects, if they get double protect, they win. If they don't, I think we win. If they are not, if they're specs, I think we win. Regardless, if they're like Assault Vest, Focus Sash, etc., they have a chance with Dark Pulse crit. Or even not crit, who knows? No, they were specs, okay. That's a really cool Terra type. I don't really understand it defensively necessarily, but I guess you're solid against Miraidon and some other stuff. But yeah, we should just close with Last Respects now. Which is stronger technically. Wave Crash in rain is 180. Last Respects, I believe, is 200. So we will take that. Give me that Goldfish and KO. Okay, so we at least close a game with Basculegion, but it probably should have just been closed out with the Urshifu. Yeah, made that harder on myself than it had to be. If they had like crit a Dark Pulse or something and not locked into the Terra Electric, gone for a crit, or gone for a double protect, they definitely have some ways out that I gave them, so. Good game to them. A lot harder of a game against Mewtwo than I expected. The Sunny Day Solar Beam was definitely a lot more difficult to handle, especially when I was not making the right plays. I think I did have to Tailwind the first turn in case they matched Tailwind and go for Psy Strike, but yeah, I could have maybe Bleakwind, Water Spouted, Taunted, Water Spouted. There's a lot that maybe could have been optimized that game that I didn't quite go for. These hyper-offensive teams, you do have to play, like, because the battles are so much shorter, you do have to make sure you're getting each individual turn as close to correct as possible, because the margins can be very thin in the late game because you don't have a lot of switching or defensive potential. So as soon as you're out of position, if you haven't gotten enough mileage offensively, you can just lose the game right there. All right, very interesting team from my opponent. It's very defensive in some respect, but they could have some offensive options. Could be Quiver Dance Folk, could be Rage Powder Will-O-Wisp as well. Zamazenta, I'm going to assume that's Iron Defense, but it could be Wide Guard. Chien-Pao, could be Life Orb. I don't know. There's like, it's hard to predict because these defensive teams tend to have like overcompensating offensive Pokemon, like Choice Band Rillaboom is something that's on my mind as well. But let's see what happens. I actually don't think Tailwind is entirely necessary this match. I think Tsareena is really good for me here, because it beats Dondozo and Tinglu pretty effectively, as well as Rillaboom if they lock into Grassy Glide. And let's also think about Basculegion. It does pretty well into Zamazenta. Late game, after all my Pokemon have been knocked out. Because plus 3 defense Zamazenta after an Iron Defense is very good, but their heavy slam damage isn't that crazy. And Last Respects is just a dumb powerful attack. Zamazenta Rillaboom, fair enough. So, I think I'm just going to go right into Tsareena. Right into Tsareena is kind of nuts, because they can body press me pretty freely. Yeah, my damage is pretty limited on the Tsareena, unfortunately. It's probably body press into you. I would love to have a knockout onto the Rillaboom. I just don't think I do, unfortunately. Yeah, dealing with the Rillaboom is going to be tough, for sure. I'm going to go for a Surging Strike just to get the damage off onto Zama. If they go for Grassy Glide, great, but Given Tsareena's in the back, I've led so weak to Rillaboom, it's pretty predictable that the Tsareena comes out here. And there's a chance they just like body press would hammer me for a KO. They might have a defensive Terra on the Zama, but if they do that, I'm kind of glad to basically weed that out. Because they still won't love taking Surging Strikes in the rain. Dragon, sure, fair enough. I can at least Ice Beam that later in the game. Body press, sure. Okay, we live. That's kind of surprising. They do not go for Grassy Glide. Fair enough. Ah, that's a lot of... That's really not much damage. That's probably not in Last Respect's range, unfortunately. Yikes. Okay. U-turn. Interesting. I probably would have gone on the offensive there, just take my Wood Hammer damage. But yeah, this is fine by me. They outspeed on the Zamazenta, worth noting. We can maybe knock it out, though. Body Press plus Chien-Pao is going to be dangerous. I think that's Chien-Pao. Yepers. Okay. So we can knock that out if we want to. We can also chip the Zamazenta a little bit more. Ooh. Getting the Chien-Pao into Aqua Jet range I think is kind of a priority, if I can make that happen. Body Press likely coming here into the Urshifu plus a Sacred Sword. Not certain that will knock out. It's going to be close. If it is not, do I want to preserve Tsareena? Or just get the Kyogre in? I don't want to sacrifice HP. I think I'm going to have to Terra Grass eventually regardless, so let's just commit to that. Throat Chop into the Tsareena. Yeah, Kyogre would not have loved taking that. We'll at least survive the body press here and answer back with a KO on their Chien-Pao. Ooh, that got very close to a knockout. Uncomfortably close. So they have not gone for a... What's the role in Last Respects into Rillaboom? That's worth knowing. Probably not a KO, unfortunately. Rillaboom versus Basculegion. I imagine it knocks out at full. Like Adamant Life Orb gets there. With 2. It gets really close on max HP, but it's still like a 20% chance to KO only. Let's go into Kyogre. Yikes, okay. Maybe Basculegion now. Yeah, I don't know if I can win this. Yeah, Terra Dragon Zama, very dangerous against a rain team. If I wasn't Scarf or a Choice Bandit, I could Aqua Jet Last Respects, but that's just like not really a good option. Let's think about going for this plus a... I think I almost have to go for the Terra, unfortunately, to live the Grassy Glide. Yeah, let's go for this. I need to get the Zamazenta down, and then maybe I can find a way. Like, if they knock out my Urshifu, I'll knock out their Rillaboom next turn regardless, but I think if I get this Last Respects, then I'll KO them next turn, and it'd be a great read to go for a Fake Out or a U-turn or something, or a Body Press into my Basculegion, even a Protect, but I think it's unlikely. Yeah, they Grassy Glide the Bask, which would have knocked out, but yeah, we're going for the Last Respects. Oh, that doesn't do any damage. Oh my god. That was really pitiful damage. Jeez, okay. Okay, we'll knock out the Rillaboom now, but they can go for a Body Press to KO me, and I don't think an Ice Beam KOs their Zama. Yeah. Which means they can just Wood Hammer. I'll run the Calc, but yeah, I feel like without a max special attack Kyogre, we're not getting there. Kyogre versus Zama Senta. Dragon type. Ice Beam 44 to 52 from max special attack. It depends on their spread, but I think we probably don't get there, unfortunately, and they just hit me with a Wood Hammer. So that should be GG. Maybe I freeze them. Doesn't look good. Does not look good at all. Oh, Protect Zamazenta is interesting. I guess they want the Grassy Glide damage. Fair enough. And the Protect. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this KOs. Yeah, with 2 Pokemon knocked out. Oh, actually, no. I thought more Pokemon were knocked out than they were, honestly. Because we only have 150 now. That was like a 20% chance to KO if they're... depending on their spread. If they're max HP, that is super not in our favor. I miscalced. I thought we were at the... I forgot Kyogre was still alive. But yeah, that was not very likely to KO. Dondozo last. Interesting. So I think we can 1v1 with Thunder then, yeah? Just Last Respects Ice Beam gets us there. Could Water Spout, but I don't think that's right. If we hit our Thunders, I think we'll win. Yeah, a lot of damage, but not enough. Body Press, sure. Take the knockout on the Basque. I don't care. I think we hit our Thunder. If we hit our Thunders and they're not Fisher Dondozo, Yawn could be problematic too. But I think their damage output's kind of limited. So what felt pretty lost, we got a good roll on the Rillaboom, and now we're barely back in it because it's Dondozo. I guess Volcarona would have been pretty unfavorable for them. But yeah, protecting there I think was a mistake. Oh, okay, never mind. GG. And that's all she wrote, baby. Alright. That's unfortunate, but I think best case we would have had to hit 2 Thunders with rain ending pretty soon, so I don't feel too awful about losing that. I think they played better regardless, and we got kind of bailed by a bad roll, but yeah. Always fun to see the end game, or the game end in that fashion. Love to see Fisher. I think Yawn into Fisher would have been better if they have that, but, you know. Maybe they knew the RNG was going to dictate such that Fisher was never going to hit the rest of the game. That was the turn it was going to do it, so good game to them. Close one. Okay, rank about 300 on the ladder with an interesting Zamazenta team. They have Ogerpon Cornerstone, Zamazenta, Raging Bolt, Landorus Incarnate Form, Cresselia, and Tay. A lot of Pokemon that don't love taking Water Spouts, but a lot of counterplay as well. So if they're Wide Guard Zamazenta, that's like really bad for us, I think. I kind of think Icy Wind Chien-Pao is like kind of gassier. It's like pretty cute, for sure. I can Icy Wind surprise their Ogerpon with a KO, and I think I'm going to go for that, maybe. Terra Grass in front of Raging Bolt's an option as well. I think I have to go Kyogre here, and the question is Tsareena or Basculegion, and I think I'm going to go Basculegion. Got to be very strategic about when I go for Terra Grass here, because it's going to be a very important resource if the Basculegion, or if the Raging Bolt is still alive, because everything except for the Kyogre will fold to a Thunderclap if they're Booster Energy or Magnet or something like that, or Terra Electric even, so got to be very conscientious of that. Preserving HP on Kyogre going to be pretty important too. Yeah, this is going to be a hard battle, I think, but maybe we get to use the Icy Wind Chien-Pao here to good success. Zama Ogerpon, that's kind of what I was expecting. I really feel like it's unlikely they will respect Icy Wind and go for a Wide Guard. It's probably just going to be a defensive Terra on the Zamazenta. If I can start whittling that down, that means Kyogre might outspeed it after 2 Icy Winds, so I think my play should just be Icy Surging. And if I hit that, we are in such a good spot. Can't be Choice Scarf on the Ogerpon. Love to see that. We do double connect, no Wide Guard. You would never see this coming. I would never make this read. That on Icy Wind is coming off the Chien-Pao lead. I would expect probably Choice Scarf for Urshifu before anything, and probably play off of that, but yeah. They might know that we're Choice Banded off of that. If they know their damage rolls well, they can figure that out. Very nice. So we take one of the biggest threats to our Water-type Pokemon off the board immediately. Heavy Slam, making a read on the Urshifu, which is maybe expecting Terra Ghost, I guess. I can see that. Raging Bolt, that's fine. That is a-okay with me. I'm just going to go for an Ice Spinner into you and a... Should I Icy Wind again? Nah, I should probably just put it in range. Well, Icy Wind's pretty cool too, honestly. Thunderclap's so free from them. They can double me up pretty easily. Let's go for Surging Strike, get the damage off into the Zamazenta potentially. I think Thunderclap's pretty likely, but they can only take 1 KO this turn if I stay in. And I'm glad to get some damage off. They are burning their Terra. Terra Electric, fair enough. That was going to knock me out regardless, but they shed their weakness. But now they are very weak to my... yeah, they leave me to go for a Surging Strike, which is very, very nice. So we make the read that they stay in, we get it right, and we're getting a ton of damage onto this Zamazenta. Oh yeah, that's really nice. We outspeed it and probably KO with a Wave Crash now, and we can go for a Terra Dark, or a just Terra Grass to live on either of our Pokemon here, so this is looking very nice. Electroweb would be a double knockout. Thunderbolt, okay, yeah, they only get one. Love to see it. So now we have Sucker Punch active. I don't want to bring in Kyogre because of the threat of a... Ooh, Leftovers. Interesting. I think Wave Crash is a KO. Wave Crash is easily a KO on them, but do I want to just give up a Pokemon here for that? I don't think so. Last Respects gets the Zama, I'm pretty sure. I can Terra to get around this. I can double protect. Sucker Punch is guaranteed damage as well. I'm thinking of just going for Sucker Punch Protect in front of the Bolt or something. If I can go Icy Wind here, I'm super chilling. Like in such a good spot, I think. So I'm going to go for that. Because then I can outspeed the Zamazenta and lock into Thunder in front of that and go Terra Grass and knock out the Raging Bolt. I think Raging Bolt's likely to Thunderclap or Protect here. But yeah. Zamazenta switches out. This could be a big Icy Wind. Cresselia, interesting. So it could be Lunar Dancing it back up to full, which would be annoying, but fine. Interesting. So they sack their defense boost. Their damage output's going to be way more limited. Okay, Thunderclap, fair enough. That's annoying for sure. I think I can just go for... Yeah, Icy Wind would have been great there, actually. Depends on their speed. I think a Water Spout probably won't knock them out, unfortunately. But I can go for Terra Grass Aqua Jet, and they can't hit me first. And then I should be able to 1v1. This is a tricky spot for sure. Because I'm not very fast on my Kyogre, I believe. Yeah, I'm pretty slow. Terra Grass feels correct, I think. And I just burned a Protect. Let's think about going Aqua Jet onto their Raging Bolt. If they're Sunny Day, they got me. Yeah, they played that turn well. I could have Sucker Punched and probably just won the game because they'd be in Aqua Jet range. But we're protecting the Ghost typing on our Basculegion to beat their Zamazenta 1v1. In that late game, we should beat it regardless if we get one hit off with the Kyogre. But with Lunar Blessing on the Kyogre, or on the Cresselia, that could be a challenge. So gotta be careful. No Protect, good, that's a lot of damage. And we'll see what they went for. Thunderclap, yeah, they did not expect the Aqua Jet, very nice, that's why we have it. For picking off Focus Sashes and moving before things like Sucker Punch and Thunderclap, so yeah. Perfect use of that move slot in the Basculegion. You really don't want anything else. Substitute could be something, but I think picking off the Focus Ashes is the most important aspect, and of course it comes in handy here. Trick Room, fine by me. Kyogre should sweep now. So that could have gone pretty badly if the Raging Bolt was a faster variant, but if they are slower, I guess they have to protect there. But I could easily just knock out the Cress as well. So that should be GG. I think Thunder's a KO onto the Zama. Let's just Water Spout. Last Respects the Cresselia. Yeah, they could Lunar Blessing to get some HP back, then Wide Guard as well, but that's such a passive turn because then I knock out the Cresselia. and they haven't gained any ground offensively, and we just take the knockout next turn. So good gain to them. I think, yeah, managing the Raging Bolt HP is really important for them there, just because, I mean, it's kind of tricky too, because you have to call the turns. I think I got a lot of mileage off that turn 1, just knocking out the Ogre Pawn. And I also got so much off of them not thunderclapping my Urshifu. Suddenly the Zamazenta was like a non-issue for the rest of the battle. So yeah, I think in situations like that, that's really the weakness of the Thunderclap on the Raging Bolt is, yes, you can gain so much mileage from it, but it's so obvious what you're going for a lot of the time. If you yourself are playing the mind game of if the opponent's going to switch, are they going to stay in? And you can kind of get into your own head and be like, okay, this opponent's like playing pretty well. I feel like they're going to play defensive and switch out. And then nope, just you get a ton of damage off from a choice band Pokemon because they decided to think that you would make the competent switch and you were like, nah, I'll let it go down. And that's kind of what happened there. They just lost too much ground off that Thunderclap miss. Okay, we have a Terapagos team. Kind of interesting. I'm not sure if it's Choice Specs or Calm Mind based off of the Pokemon here. Could easily be Choice Specs. Have to be prepared for everything. I think Kyogre is not bad, but the ability to clear the terrain's a little annoying for sure. Choice Band Urshifu, very dangerous with Terra Grass here. If they rely on Amoonguss to beat me, they will just lose to me late game. I don't hate Tailwind Kyogre because I can set up Rain Dance on them. I can taunt the Amoonguss. Urshifu late game I feel is mandatory. And Chien-Pao could be cute. If it's Booster Energy Flutter, I'm not in a good spot from that. Defensively, Wild Charge switch-ins are kind of lacking on this team from the Iron Hands. Maybe I just bring the Tsareena to cover for Terra Grass and Terra Water. Terra Grass I could cover with Chien-Pao. Honestly, Basculegion also covers stuff with Last Respects late game, so yeah, we're going to go with that. Could be an interesting battle. I feel like I tend to just go for the offense on this team. It's hard to figure out exactly when you're supposed to be going with the other Pokemon, but the core 4, just like Rain Pokemon, are just so strong. It's hard to deviate sometimes. Okay, Flutter plus Terapagos, fair enough. They're not threatening a lot of damage to me yet, so I can kind of just go for Tailwind Water Spout. And they can Calm Mind if they want to, but that's fine. All the abilities are activating. I do not yet see... Okay, Booster Energy, fair enough. There it is. Speed was heightened. Okay. I kind of want to taunt, but Tailwind's probably a safer play. Because they aren't threatening a huge... Like, they can go for the Terra, which they should go for. Because it at least saves their Flutter Mane this turn from Water Spout, potentially KOing it. But in doing so, they also get rid of their Terra Shell, so the damage trade is like kind of even between the two. I'm probably doing a little bit more damage than if they stayed in the normal form. But yeah, this is fine because I can just set up Rain another turn and then it'll be up forever, which means Basculegion will outspeed everything in the back. Icy Wind, A-okay by me. We'll see if they're Terra here. We won't lose the speed on the Tornadus, not like it matters. We are going to Rain Dance next turn anyways, but I guess if they are Choice Specs, this could be a little annoying, but we're doing so much damage, I'm not that worried about it. Ooh, Meteor Beam. Interesting. Okay, fair enough. We're still outspeeding them with the Kyogre, though, and I think a single target Water Spout will be enough to knock them out if they're not leftovers, so this is fine by me. Big Meteor Beam. So that's actually getting the stab boost on it, I believe. No, it's getting the Terra boost, which is like... I don't know. No, they're getting the one-time stab boost on that, I think. So, we don't have Rain Up, unfortunately, so we can't outspeed the Flutter Mane. Under normal circumstances, if they were max speed and we were adamant, we would not outspeed the Flutter Mane and Tailwind because they would be just a hair faster. However, in this circumstance, we absolutely are. The question is, what do we do about that? I can close combat their Terapagos for a KO and Water Spout, which feels pretty good. Or U-turn out. I think I'm going to U-turn out into Basculegion. Because I think the Urshifu is really good late game. I think Amoonguss could easily be switching in here. And I don't want to be locked into Surging Strike. Yeah, I've kind of committed already, so we're going to go for this. Okay, kind of a wild play. They could be going for Moonblast or Icy Wind. We would have gotten a double knockout this turn if we go for the simple Surging Strike Water Spout into either slot, but now we are susceptible to a Moonblast drop on the Kyogre to let them live. But yeah, it's Moonblast into the Basculegion, which does a lot, but not a knockout. So here comes our double KO. Cool. So we have traded our Tornadus and a lot of our HP on Basculegion for 2 turns of Tailwind and their Terapagos. Feeling pretty good about that with our Terra still on the board. So Amoonguss in the back is going to be pretty much a non-factor, if it's there. I'd expect it to be just because of all the physical attackers and the potential for me to just sweep your team with fast water moves. On the physical side, a Rocky Helmet Rage Powder Amoonguss would do very well here. Surprised they didn't bring it out earlier, but maybe they don't have it. Iron Hands, fair enough. Okay. Urshifu, okay. That's interesting for sure. Rain would be solid here. Should I just sack him on so I can last respect something? Yeah, that might be the move. They've Terra'd already, so maybe I should just go for attacks here. Yeah, that feels probably right. Last respects is base 100. Yeah, let's just go for Wave Crash Water Spout, I think. And I guess Terra Water, in case they don't fake out, but I think it's probably close combat. But if they do go for close combat, I think I should be okay. If I go for Terra, like, if they go for close combat, I still have my Basculegion. If they don't, then maybe they wild charge that turn. But yeah, I just don't want to go down to my Kyogre and it be suddenly a weird 1v1 that I wasn't expecting, or a 1v2. Because I think my Urshifu is strong, but probably won't be able to win if they lock into close combat. Okay, yeah, that's so much damage. We're chilling. Ah, maybe should have last respected to survive. Boom, CC. So now they can Aqua Jet me. Ah, okay. Might have choked this by going for this instead of last respect, because Aqua Jet probably KOs me. Oh boy, okay. I think I should Aqua Jet and... It's probably a Drain Punch, right? Maybe they don't KO me. 28 from Aqua Jet, or no. Gonna be close. Let's go for last respects. Maybe they're Choice Scarfed. And a Origin Pulse, I think. We'll see. Yeah, there's the Aqua Jet. They weren't banded. They do knock us out. Okay, should have been an Aqua Jet on our end. And I couldn't really Thunder there. We Origin Pulse and it connects, but I think we'll probably lose. No, they're already down to close combat. Yeah, we should be fine. Because they went for close combat, and we are fast Urshifu, I think we will win with Surging Strikes in the late game. I mean, this is the final 2 turns of this game, no matter what. Jolly Urshifu should win us this game, though. Most Urshifu are Adamant. I imagine this is Focus Sash, Adamant, or Mystic Water. So worst case, this is a speed tie. We just always Surging Strike, I'm pretty sure. Well, with Choice Band, we're actually ignoring their defense drops, I believe. Yeah, let's lock this. I'm pretty sure this is right, because we don't want to drop our defenses before close combat. I think we might ignore their defense drops, though. I believe that's how it works. Another one. Let's see how much that does. Not Aqua Jet range. If they had crit that, they would have won. So I left them way too much room in the game to win this, but maybe Surging Strike doesn't get us there, even with the Choice Band, because of the jolly nature. I think we do get there, though, with Choice Band. It's just a matter of if they're Adamant or not, or Jolly, yeah. Very uncommon, so That did a lot of damage. Are they... Am I wrong about... Yeah, I am wrong about defense. Basically, if you crit through a defense drop, it still is doing more damage. That's just a mistake on my part. I should probably know that, but I do not. But yeah, they rage quit. They probably thought it was a speed tie. Maybe it was. Maybe they just lost 2 consecutive speed ties on the Urshifu and lost off of it, but no way to know. We got pretty lucky though. We double hit our Origin Pulse. I think I absolutely didn't play that game that well. I expected a Mungus in the back. It wasn't there, which means I just had a very safe Surging Strike Water Spout, which would have left my Basculegion at full HP, and then I never have to worry in that game. So that will do it for our battles featuring this very hyper-offensive Tailwind Kyogre team featuring the Choice Band Urshifu and of course the Basculegion. The Basculegion definitely put in some work this game, doing some crazy KOs, like 1-hit KOing a Rillaboom after only 2 Last Respect boost is like kind of wild damage. The Tsareena honestly wasn't carrying too much, the Chien-Pao was as well, but the core combination of Tornadus, Kyogre, Urshifu, and Basculegion are very amazing. I do think Queenly Majesty is necessary, just I wasn't playing it too hot against the Rillaboom teams. I think it's necessary on the team to basically dispel the option for them to just like commit to Grassy Glide early. They have to kind of be in their heads about it, especially with all the Grass Terra on the team, but yeah, not keeping up that well with the power level in the format. But overall, really love the team. If you wanted to use the team for yourself, I have the retro code in the top right of the video, as well as the EV spreads in the description below, along with the team creator. So if you guys enjoy these videos, please give the video a like, subscribe to the channel to see more, and yeah, with all that being said, peace y'all.